The purpose of this video is to show you what the first session with a new student will look like. Once you log in, this is the first thing you'll see. This is the planning state where they pick up their assignments. From here, we're going to click on the home button. This is a good opportunity to get your student excited from the get-go by showing them first their character, which they can customize by clicking on this little pencil. From here, they can change their skin tone, their hairstyle, eye color, as well as you can show them that by doing their homework, they can customize their character and purchase new options. We click on the confirm to set up our new character settings. We then also show them that they have weekly rewards that they can agree to with their parents. So by having good habits and completing a number of days of completed sessions, by doing lots of time in total minutes, and by finishing what we start with percentage of focus sessions completed. The next step is we're going to go into the gears icon. Here we're going to add in our subjects. So I added in math, English, science, history, Spanish in a personal category. You add subjects by hitting the plus sign and you delete them out. By hitting the backspace. Once you've added their subjects and courses, you then go to the clock for the scheduling. Here we ask that you schedule at least 2 sessions per week with your student. So that they have at least 2 times per week that they're committing to use Clarifi when they will receive notifications that their sessions are starting, and that they're encouraged to at least make that. When you're explaining this to your student, we explain it generally by saying this is like tutoring time that you're scheduling for yourself. Show up on time and do the work. To create weekly scheduled times, you click here. So if I want it 10 a.m. on Tuesdays, I click repeat weekly and hit save. And if I want to do weekly at 11:30 a.m., I can hit weekly. I can also add, say that I only want to do math at 11:30. Here you can also add in our subjects and assignments. And even if you've chunked up your work, you'll see you can even schedule it to a more granular level. So let's hit save. To delete, you would hit delete to remove that item. Now going to planning. We're about to do our very first session of Clarifi with our student. To open up an assignment, or what we like to call a battle, you click on the card. Each one of these is a card, and that shows you your first mission. This is the upcoming mission named First Mission. And I'm going to hit Start. So I'm now in my Clarifi environment. So since Chrome has already opened, I see that my first step or mission objective is to open Chrome, and I've completed it. We tell students they should hit what we like to call the party button here, and that fills up their first mission objective. We really go over the top and say woohoo and really get very excited with them. We encourage you to do the same. The next step would be to log into your accounts. So if you go to mail.google.com and sign in. This is a good first step to have with your students so they can sign into their accounts. Make sure that they do log into everything that they need to be set up and comfortable in their environment. So if they need Canvas logged into, Google Classroom, Quizlet, whatever they need to do online homework, make sure they are logged in at this time. You don't want to have to set it up multiple times for your students. It is helpful to log into Gmail first, because then it will ask if you want to set up your password recommendations from your other computer. So We had now logged into it. We hit the party button. Woohoo! There we go. And now we're going to practice hitting the X button. This is a fun opportunity to explain some of the science behind it. So we hide the X button here in the top right. But if you're not hovering over it, you don't see it. So the science says if you're not looking at it, if you're not thinking about leaving, you're less likely to leave. So let's click on that. You then get a warning that you'll lose your XP and your mission objectives, and your gems earned if you leave your session early. So we encourage them to stay. We hit that X button. All right. So now we're encouraging them to do that one more time, just because it's important that they feel comfortable knowing how to leave. All right. We hit stay once more, and we've now finished all of the mission objectives for this first mission named First Mission. I want to show you this button now says next. The button slowly fills up over 20 minutes until it turns bright purple and you can click it to leave. When it's not completed, it says done and it's not filled up, but when it is, it turns to next. If you have taken less than 20 minutes, which is likely expected, it should take between 5 to 8 minutes to get them set up. The next step would be to pick up a real homework assignment that you have for your student to practice using Clarifi on. Let's hit the next button so we can see what it will look like once we do that. So this is the screen it will then take you to. So we completed this first mission. So there's a small circle next to Learn Clarifi that I click. This is an extra Learn Clarifi, and so this step is teaching you how to delete something. So if you do want to delete an assignment out of here, you click on that trash can and it deletes it. We're now going to practice creating an assignment. So whatever assignment you pick to work on with the remaining time with your student, this is a good opportunity to practice. Let's think about, my favorite architect is Frank Lloyd Wright. So Frank Lloyd Wright poem. Let's say that you have to write a poem about Frank Lloyd Wright for your English class. And let's say that it's due next Friday. In the assignment description, this is an opportunity to really do what you do with your coaching. So if you are somebody that has a way of getting them to chunk up their assignments, to think about what it will look like when it's done, go through your process here and have them write that assignment description here. What I like to do is say, all right, you read the assignment description, because that's what they should have done right before from their classroom. I want you to close your eyes and picture, what will this look like when it's done? Okay. It will be a 5-paragraph rhyming poem that is edited and submitted on Canvas. I did make a small typo here. That's okay. This is all self-coaching. So whatever you feel most comfortable with, it's not like anyone's grading you on this. All right, so now that I've written, it will be a 5-paragraph rhyming poem that is edited and submitted on Canvas. I then like to do, what are the high-level steps that I'm going to do for this poem? All right. The first is I need to research about Frank's life, famous buildings, and fun facts. This is to get that content. Next, I will outline the poem. Then I will write the first paragraph, then second, third, fourth, and fifth. I will submit, assume the teacher has a draft. I will submit the draft on time on, let's see, on Monday, the 9th. I will edit and incorporate feedback. And I will submit it, the final version, on Canvas. Reading through this, one thing I would suggest is maybe adding in another first step of read and review the instructions, because that's always important for our students. All right, so that's a high-level version of what I'm going to do. Whatever coaching you like to do here, this really is a canvas. So I add that assignment. Similarly, I'm going to pop it open. So I see those steps. And I see my first mission. I'm going to click details to show you a little bit more. So here, I pick up, where it's the yellow, I pick up my first mission. So I kind of thought through what it would be above. But if I look at it again, I'm going to read the instructions and I'm going to research about Frank's life. I'm not going to do his buildings and fun facts. All right. And so this is my generally 20-minute mission, but because we didn't finish our first session, we're going to do this together, and it will take a little less than 20 minutes. So I don't want to pick something that will go over the 20-minute mark. I'm going to do read and review instructions and research Frank's life. All right. So in the objectives, so the mission objectives, these are the steps that I'm going to take to finish this 20-minute mission or actionable piece of work. So the first step I like to do is open documents. So here it's open the instructions. It would also be to create a new Google Doc for the assignment to work in. All right. And then this does depend on your coaching strategy. I like to go and hit enter a few more times to go and click here. And so then I want to say, all right, so how will you know that you're done reading and reviewing instructions and researching about Frank's life? What will be the last step you will have taken? I want you to visualize yourself. What's the last thing you'll do? So here, the last step is, if he's going to turn in this, it's submit it online. Otherwise, it is edit and finalize life facts. Could be a good one. Good thing is it's final, right? I'm done now with his life facts. All right, so what do I do to get from opening documents to editing and reviewing. We did want to read and review instructions. I'm going to find 3 sources with short summaries on, we'll call them FLW's life, and I'm going to add about childhood facts, three to 5 bullet points. And now I'm going to do something similar. And so if I am using a Windows desktop, I press Control C. Similarly, for a Mac, you're also going to press Control C instead of Command C. So Control C and Control V. So I'm going to do it about adult facts. So you can only do up to 6 mission objectives in each session. If I do want to create more missions and say this is a student that you're working with and you're assigning what they're going to do for the full week, it would be, the next mission could be finish I'm going to delete it so I can show you again how to hit plus, hit mission name. And so the next mission name after read and review instructions and write about Frank's life is research FLW's famous buildings and fun facts. And I can either plan that out for them here, or I can just leave it at a high level depending on the student's level of independence. And then after that, right, I did think the next thing would be, I'm going to outline the poem. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, before I outline it, I want to brainstorm. So I'm going to brainstorm poem structure. Now, it really is up to you and how you want to do it. Then I would outline et cetera, et cetera. If you did, say it's something that's just a couple of missions and you plan it all up ahead, you can then click I plan my battle strategy for the whole assignment. And what that does is as you complete these chunks of works, a little bar will appear here that shows you completing it. All right, so I've completed this. We're gonna start here. As you can see, the mission name, read and review instructions, and research Frank's life is at the top here. And the mission objectives that we showed here are right here, and you hover over them to see. So open docs here. I can go create Google Doc. I have to log in. I haven't logged into this account, but you create a Google Doc account and you log in. Oftentimes, you're going to go first to their assignment and then create a Google Doc from that. So then I'm going to read and review the instructions. Once I've completed that, I hit the checkbox. I find 3 sources with short summaries on Frank Lloyd Wright's life. Next thing is add about childhood facts, 3 to 5 bullet points, adult, it's edit, and finalize. And so those are the steps I took, and I would complete it. All right, let's fast forward and wait until this gets to 20 minutes, and we can get to click the done button so you can see what that looks like. While we're doing that, I want to call out a few things. So we're earning XP. If our student gets distracted and stops focusing, our health bar will go down and our little warnings will pop up saying, hey, where did you go, buddy? Let's get back to work. Eventually, if they really are too distracted and they're not focusing on completing their work, they will get booted from their session, and you and their parents will get a notification saying, let's reschedule and find another time to do this assignment. Now we're going to fast forward through and get to 20 minutes. Once you've gotten to 20 minutes and you've completed your mission, you'll be able to see that the done button fills up, and you can press it to make it purple. Once you've gotten to 20 minutes and you've completed your mission by checking all your mission objectives, the done button becomes bright purple and you can click it. When you click it, confetti will fall down. You'll be able to rate yourself by saying, how did it go? I think I did pretty well. You can also say that I completed this entire assignment. Here you can give yourself a little bit more feedback. Going to the bottom, you can hit submit to be done and to leave. Or if you have another assignment that you want to continue working on, you can hit blitz if you want to do back-to-back sessions, at which point you'll get a 5-minute break. Similarly, if you've been working on this for 30 minutes and haven't been able to finish, you'll get requested to take a mid-session break as well. I'm going to hit submit. Once here, I can see that the next assignment is finishing up researching famous buildings and fun facts. And I can go in and create more assignments for myself. If I ever need help, I can hit the question mark and it will create a form to get help with. And to leave, I hit this old-fashioned exit button and hit exit. I hope that was helpful. Look forward to trying it alongside you to provide additional support.